Hello people, this is Mark from Courage Change Works. Guys, hope that you're well. Guys, I spoke to you about the BIF communication system yesterday. You know, the brief, informative, friendly and firm style when it comes down to communicating with the narcissist that you know or know about. Guys, that system is best out of the two that I have found whilst doing some research. Now, the reason for it being so is because you're giving the narc minimal opportunity to manipulate, bully, twist, gaslight and all these kind of things. It's best you shrink the opportunity for them to try and get around you and absolutely make your life a living hell. I did say to you that I'm going to talk to you about the other system, and the reasons why I chose to do the BIF system first is because it's the best. It's better than the one that I've got to deliver for you today. Now I'm going to do this in two videos. Reason for it being is, number one, I want to tell you about it and why it is not so good, and then I'm going to break it down according to the information and research that I found as to the reasons why it is so bad, or a lot poorer than the BIF system that I spoke to you about yesterday. This one here is called JADE, as in the girl's name. So this is what JADE stands for. It stands for justifying, arguing, defending and explaining. I want you to consider, if you have this narc in your life, or you know about a narc, for someone that's maybe near and dear to yourself, let's pretend, okay? And what I want you to consider, if you have any experience in dealing with a narc in terms of arguments, debates and that kind of stuff. And I remember a particular conversation with a narc in my life where I was told that argument only had one meaning, which is disagreement, when in fact it has two. In fact, me and Laura spoke about this only yesterday in our private chats that we have. Remember, if you could, or imagine if you have got no experience with this particular issue, when you're dealing with a narc. Now, as you would see on numerous videos on YouTube, there's loads of them, or if you do your research on the internet, you will notice the same thing. Likewise, some of the videos that I've made is also suggesting similar things, so there must be some truth in the information that is being presented one way or another. Here we go. Consider, like I've asked you to do, you are presenting an argument, you are giving your side. It doesn't matter what it's about, the narc doesn't care. You're giving your side, you're giving your opinion, you're giving your point of view, you're giving some of your education, you're giving some of your skill sets, you are giving some of your work experience, your culture, your traditions, whatever the case might be. Basically, you are giving some of you. The narc, on the other hand, when they are trying to gaslight you, when they are trying to play the word salad game with you, when they are trying to bully, twist, manipulate, control, all these kind of things, they are looking for that argument. They are looking for you to give them that information. So what they will do is they will give you their side of the story. So now you get the narc on this side giving their side, and you on this side and you're giving your side, and eventually you end up in a circle of arguments and points and discussions and reasoning and all this kind of nonsense. The narc likes that. The narc feeds on that. It's the oxygen that they need to keep you out of sorts. It is as if the argument is taking place here, but they are standing over here somehow. And they are controlling everything by observing you as if from a third-party perspective, a fly on the wall, so to speak. And I can bet you £1 million, dollars, currency, whatever it might be, that they are enjoying seeing you in a flat spin, as we would say in South Africa. They love it. Getting you to run around in circles while they, as I used to say to psychologists and psychiatrists when I was still supporting the narc in my life, that they are just there to orchestrate chaos. And as if they are the director, bit of chaos here, bit of chaos there, a little bit of chaos over there. But in the argument, you find yourself as the prey, justifying your perspective, giving all sorts of reasons and facts and different testimonies and feedback, and you justifying. And the narc just comes and says, really? Nice try. And then they come and they hit you with something else. Justify. To keep the argument going. Why? The more you engage, the more you feed them. So now, eventually, the justifying bit might turn a little bit, I'm not going to use the word aggressive, but you might become a little bit more forceful. Because now it nearly feels, at least in my case, as if I was attacked for having said experiences. It was as if my experience didn't matter, my point of view didn't matter, my skill sets, my education didn't matter. For as long as I was playing that roundabout circle game with the narc, I was losing in a big way. So now you don't only justify, but the minute you start being threatened and you get pushed into this argumentative corner, you will find yourself being suffocated and you might want to fight your way out of there. And that's what happens up here. And you start doing things that you wouldn't normally do. The narc likes that because it feeds them. The next one is you then go to defending. If I'm attacking you out of the blue for no real reason, like the narc would do linguistically and behaviorally, the first thing you do normally, or most people would do, is they would counter it by some kind of defense. Because you don't want to get hurt, you don't want to get bullied, nothing of the sort. But when you're dealing with a narc, let me tell you, they come from every single angle they can possibly come to try and get you to continually be in that spin, to confuse you, to tire you out, to suffocate your thoughts, to suffocate your voice. Because for as long as they can do that, it means you are nothing but a puppet on a string, a meal on their plate, and you elevate them higher and higher because you're continually engaging in this useless form of debate that you might think is positive, and the narc is laughing all the way to the bank because they've got you in that flat spin as far as the argument is concerned. So you'll defend yourself. You will defend your education. You will defend your experiences. You will defend your point of view. And the narc is rubbing their hands in glee, because that's what they want. And then, of course, the E in JADE stands for you explain. Now, you might as well take this to the bank and say, or hear this out. You can't speak Chinese to a German unless you've got an interpreter that can speak both languages. You can explain to the narc all day why you've justified, why you've become a little bit aggressive in defending yourself. All the little letters in this JADE, you can explain all day. And all the narc will do is look at you as if you are the biggest idiot in the world. Because as soon as you start to explain to them, you are feeding them yet again. Therefore, they've got everything they need to keep you in that linguistic roundabout, going around and around and around. It is as if they're playing ping pong with you. Now, that's all I want you to do at this point in time. Imagine the frustration that the prey experiences when the narc has got you on that roundabout. Ask your friends, ask your family. Be real with yourself if you are on the opposite side of a narc relationship. Trust me, it's not nice. That's all I want to say at this particular point. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the reasons why the JADE means of communicating, the system, why it is so bad, so poor, totally ineffective. That's all I want to say. Except for do all the YouTube admin. You know exactly what to do. Say this all the time. Share, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, tell your friends, tell your family, etc., etc. Just as a reminder, Laura is hopefully coming over in the next couple of weeks or so on a working holiday, and then we're going to do the live chat regarding the narc. It's going to be advertised on Twitter and Instagram. I think Laura does that. I don't do the social media stuff so much. And also on Facebook. So keep your eyes open, and we will also put a little reminder out in a very short video clip a couple of days or so beforehand, so you can plan and be ready for that. For now, that's all I want to say. This is Mark from Colors Change Works, and I'll speak to you soon.